Okay, so we're trying to find articles for our topic of technology and whether or not it makes us more alone. So I'm back onto opposing viewpoints. I'm in the science technology category, and we just went through and looked at mental disorders. I found some stuff, but not a lot. So let's try and see if we can come up with something else. So on here, I do have a couple different mini topics, subtopics that looked promising. So let's try social media. So when I go to social media, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I could start looking through the different articles that are posted on this catch-all topic page. However, there's a lot to have to go through on this page. So instead, I'm going to use my search bar again. This time, I'm going to put in happiness. So I'm looking at social media and happiness. Well, I get four, and that first one sure does look promising. So let's click on it and see what we got here. When it comes to this article here, I have a lot of different ways that I can make use of the tools that Gale provides me. So let's run down the tools. When it comes to the article, one of the first things that you'll notice is that underneath where I have the title, I do actually have this little listen option here. Most of the articles on the Gale database will actually offer this, meaning if I click on that, what's going to happen is there's going to be an audio file that will read me out loud the article. So that's really awesome for auditory learners, people who do better with hearing things read out loud rather than trying to read it to themselves. I also have a couple other things. For instance, over here on the right-hand side, I have a tools box. Underneath, I have citation tools, I have highlight and notes, I have send to Google Drive, which we used in the last video. I have a send to OneDrive, a print, email, download, save to my file, share, and then I also have a couple other tools too. Underneath, I do have a translate this article, and then I have some table of contents and related subjects. So let's start from the top, shall we? When it comes to citation tools, this is actually going to be one of the main reasons why students really love Gale. If I click on this here, what it's going to do is it's going to offer me up a couple different things when it comes to creating a citation. The first one should be MLA Citation 8th edition. And guess what? Gale actually provides for me a proper 8th edition MLA works cited page entry. I don't have to build this myself. The only thing I have to do is copy and paste it in. That's it. This makes your life so much easier when it comes to making your works cited pages. Hence, whenever you are doing a Gale database research notes, all you have to do is copy and paste this in. It will also give you options for other ones as well. For instance, APA and Chicago style are also available for you. Just stick with the 8th edition MLA because that's what we'll be using for class. So awesomeness, right? The second one is going to be highlights and notes. This is actually also a really good thing to use. However, remember that we will be color coding. And when you print, you will not have color. Still, though, this does work really nicely for those that prefer to type out their annotations rather than actually like typing or actually writing them out. So, for example, let's say that I was reading the article and I found a piece of information that I thought was really good that I want to potentially use. So, for instance, what if I like this sentence here? In our study, we analyzed data from a national representative surveys of 8th, 10th, and 12th graders that's been conducted annually since 1991. When I use my cursor to highlight it and release, all of a sudden I have two options. I have a highlight and I have a notes option. I could click on highlight and it actually gives me different color options here, meaning I can actually color code to whatever topic I'm dealing with. So if this is a cause, or if it's an effect, or if it's a solution, I do actually have color coding options here. In addition, I also have what's known as notes. This is going to be where the annotation part comes in. So I could put an annotation here relating to the topic, connecting it to other articles that I've read, making a personal connection, and so on. When I do that, the other article, survey, and so on and so on. I could type whatever I want here. When I hit save, it's going to keep that for me so that when I go to print or when I go to download it, everything remains highlighted and everything remains with notes included. So that is a really cool feature that it offers. Third one we looked at last time was sending it over to Google Drive. When I do that, here's how I'm going to access it later. So let's save this to my Google Drive. Let's say I decide that I will potentially use this. When I click on saving to Google Drive, it is going to ask me for my account. It may ask you every time. It may be a one and done deal. You simply need to find your account, confirm that Gale has access, and then you get this really great pop-up with complete, awesome documents have been sent over to Google Drive and will appear shortly. And then I just click OK. When I need to access that document again, I will actually have to go to my drive. So opening up a new tab, going to my Google Drive, I'm going to go to my Drive homepage. And on my homepage, I should have a new folder that didn't exist beforehand. Now, granted, my drive is extensive. I've got folders within folders within folders. But I do have a new folder, one that wasn't there beforehand, and even matches the Gale database I was on. It's orange to signify that it's from Gale, and it's opposing viewpoints and context. When I open that up, I should have two different files there because I sent over an article during the last video. So here's the article from my last video. Digital multitasking is linked to loneliness. When it comes to this, I do also have the article that I was just on. So what might explain, and when I open it up, I do have the entire document saved as a Google Doc. My highlights should still be there. My highlight, yep, there we go. My highlight is still there. And if I go to the bottom, I should have the note that I made. So way down at the bottom, well, there's my note. It includes the text that I highlighted and includes the note that I wrote myself. So this is actually a valid way to do your annotations. Just bear in mind that when you do print, the colors will go away. It will show up as black and white instead. You will have to go over with your own highlighter in which to signify the colors that we'll be using for the research annotation. But still, this is valid annotation and it would be acceptable when you go to actually showcase your check with annotations. We do have send to OneDrive. That's going to do pretty much the same thing. However, most people don't use their OneDrive. Print, self-explanatory, so is email as well as download. Download is just going to download the document onto your personal computer. It, however, is going to not be the best option because it will only be accessible on that particular computer. Save to folder is the other one that I do not recommend. Remember that this is something that's only going to save for your session, and once you log off, like it's gone and you will never have it in that folder again. You'll have to go back to the start, find that same article, and so on. Share to is kind of self-explanatory. You can send it online using social media. Underneath, though, we have two other things that are really cool. We do actually have a translate article, so you can translate this into multiple different languages. You have a table of contents, and you also have related subjects. Related subjects is actually a really great one to look at because it does deal with another way to find articles. So for instance, if I really like this and I felt that it did a great job explaining my topic and it was something that was useful, then looking at the related subjects usually gets me somewhere that's going to deal with other topics or other segments of my topic that could be useful. So like technology and society. That could definitely be something that gets me some more information. So